Hello, welcome back to Finish It Friday. I'm Sherry and I am here to go over what I've done this week, what I've finished, what I'm still working on, and also your wonderful finishes that you have sent to me in the email lessonslearned2021@gmail.com. If you would like to submit something to be shown on this show, just look at the description box and the guidelines are in there, and you can send a picture to the email and I'll most likely show it the very next week. Alright, so this week has been okay. I've gotten some things done, but I didn't get to my 2 hours of happy days, Stitch in Heaven block of the month, but there's still today, right? So I might be able to squeeze that in today if I'm very judicious with my time. If not, over the weekend we'll get started. Did not either get started on the Barn Star Sampler for this month, but the month is young. But I did do a couple of things. You probably saw the Wednesday video with the panel idea, and I'm not going to stretch all this out right now because you can go to that video and see plenty of shots of this. But I got our first panel idea finished all the way through. So if you're needing some panel ideas, that is the first one. There will be 3 more this month on Wednesday. Next week won't be as complicated, so stay tuned. Here is the FPP Heart project. I got it all put together into a top, so I still have to quilt that and bind it, but I did work on that earlier in the week. And I want to announce to you the Stashtember project that I promised I would have some stash busting projects for you each week, and I will be announcing those on Fridays. This is for week number 2 coming up, so you can start on that this weekend and into next week if you have time. But we are going to go through our stash and find appropriate fabrics for pillowcases. So I have made my first set ever of pillowcases out of this fabric line. I had a 3 yard bundle, 1 yard of 3 different fabrics that coordinated, and I made pillowcases. I'm going to post a video that I watched to learn how to do this. Super easy. And it is, I think it's called needle pointers or something like that. So obviously it's not just needlepoint, but it's an older video, but it is the burrito method, if you've heard of that. And it's very easy to follow. So I'll put that in the description box. I'm not going to make a video on these because there are myriad videos out there on YouTube of how to do this burrito method pillowcase, and it has a nice little trim there on it out of one of the fabrics. And that is my first pair of pillowcases. These would be good to have around for wedding gifts. You could slip these into your wedding gift as a little personal extra that you could stick in, or for any other gift giving occasion that you have. I have a couple more fabrics I want to use. I want to use these 2, make a couple out of those, and then I have some more subdued fabric here I would like to do as well. I think I'll make a pair out of those, and then I also have all of these that coordinate. So some wild and bright ones, and then some more subdued ones depending on, you know, who you're giving the gift to. You don't always want a novelty print or a really loud print. So make a variety of those. Try to make, let's just put the goal out there of making 4 sets, 4 pairs, and you'll use up a bunch of your fabric. You need 27 inches of the yard of fabric plus another 10 inches of another fabric, and then another 1.5 strip of another fabric. So get those fabrics down that you just don't seem to have an idea of what to do with them, and make pillowcases. Okay, so behind me, you're like, what in the world is that? Well, Thursday I was in a Zoom class for quilt finishing. It was called Quilt Finishing Fest, and it was put on by CNT Publishing, I'm pretty sure, and maybe Bernina too. There were several sponsors of it, but I was in that class all day, pretty much, like 4 hours. So I wanted something to do, but I didn't want to start on this one yet, because I hadn't familiarized myself with that yet, as far as, you know, chain piecing and all that. Probably could have spent a moment and got that going. But I've had over there on my ironing board all this time this pattern right here. And this came out of the, it's called bird watching. Let's see, where does it say bird watching? Right here. And that came out of the last American Quilter magazine that I showed to you. So if you go online and download this magazine, you'll find this pattern. But what it does is it takes 16 bird prints, and you make individual blocks out of those. And instead of the cream, I'm using this aqua that has cream in it. And instead of just the plain navy blue, which it does read plain navy blue, I'm using a Lori Holt Bee in My Bonnet. I think this is called Shabby. So if you know what that is, let me show you here. This is a whole bolt that I bought. It looks like that. Kind of looks jeansy. So I'm using that. And then I haven't picked out the little yellow square there. I haven't picked that out yet. But I thought that's something really super simple I can do while I'm listening to this class and watching along on the class. Something super, super easy. The construction of the block is super easy. It's pretty much just that. So yeah, that's what I did. Let me show you one up close so you can see that it's just kind of a strip up the center, 2 strips on the side to make that plus sign, and then the background, and then dark blue. The 4 corners are half square triangles that are not trimmed. You just make them and put them on. And yeah, I'm just using up some of my scraps, and I'm also pulling out some fabrics that I've just been hanging on to. I love them, but I don't know what to do with them because I love birds, you know. So these, I think I have one more to make that I have fabric for. After that, I need to start hunting for some bird fabric. I have some crow fabric, but I don't think I want to use that in this. Although I did do these crows. So, yeah, if anybody out there wants to share a bird fabric with me, all I need is a 6 inch by 18 inch strip. Throw it in an envelope, pop it in the mail. I would appreciate it. If you don't worry. Do not cut from your yardage. Only if you have a scrap about that size. I'm looking for birds that are around the at least 2 inches or so. Nothing real tiny. So I need some more colors. I need a little more variety of color in there. So if you want, that would be cool. Otherwise, I'll just hang on to these blocks, and as I see bird fabric pop up along the way, I'll buy a little piece. So there's that. That's what I've been doing. Your finishes. I have a bunch. So let's get started. The first one that I have is from Diane, and she's showing us her FPP hearts. And she's done hers in black and red and white. I love those, and looks like she is also putting hers in the same type of configuration that I am. Very good job. Love that. Carla, she says, this is the very first quilt I've made for such a special occasion. It's a wedding quilt. A young man I've had the privilege to know for many years is marrying his sweetheart, and I'm so thrilled for them. I even made my own label for their quilt. I had my sweet long-arm quilter friend do the quilting, and I just love it. I love it too. That big blue heart. Very classy. That's a great wedding gift. And your label in the corner there is perfect. Dolores finished up some charity quilts. And I'll show you the first one here is green. And it looks to have the motif of frogs. So that's really super cute. And then she has another one that has a ruffle trim built into it. Very cute for a little girl. And then she has 2 blue blankets that are of 2 layers of flannel. And she made 3 of those. And the back is done in 3 lighter colors, gray, blue, and turquoise. So those are just nice little warm blankets for a little one. Beautiful job, Dolores, as usual. Ernest has a finish. Thank goodness we're finally seeing some things from Ernest. He says this is from the Barnstar Sampler book by Shelley Cavanagh of Chorus Quilts. It uses 2 blocks, Farmer's Star and Peony Star, from the sampler quilt. I used various fabrics including Summer School, our favorite, Tula Pink, Moda, and Stonehenge. You certainly skill build with flying geese and 45-degree angles in these quilts. It finishes at 66 inches square, although the book calls for a 64.5-inch squaring. It hurt my feelings to think about cutting off anything more than necessary. I can relate. After you do all that work, you don't want to just start cutting it off, do you? So we see his quilt here done up in turquoises and dark blues and some deep reds. And it's very striking, and you can definitely see the differentiation between the 2 blocks. And remember, these 2 blocks that you see in this Cordelia quilt, like he said, was in the Barnstar Sampler quilt as well. So that book is not just the Barnstar quilt. There's a lot of other quilt patterns in the book. So don't forget about those. Thanks for bringing that to our attention, Ernest. We don't want to forget what we have on hand in our books and patterns. Very nice job, and it's completely finished. Pat has sent a baby quilt, and she says, I just finished a baby quilt 42 by 53 for a friend from Sherry McConnell's Houndstooth pattern. I added a plain border to make it easier for me to not cut off my points. Quilted by Long Armor Orchid Owl with green minky backing. I hope the baby finds it cozy. The baby will find it cozy, I'm pretty sure. Very cute, nice bright colors. A modern quilt design on there. And then on the back, you can see that quilting. Kind of looks like a paper clip. I love the lime green. Great job, Pat. Yes, that'll be a cozy quilt for the baby. Stacy, she says, I'm a big fan of your videos. Thank you for sharing your quilting and sewing journey with us. I recently bought a Baby Locks Solaris Vision to try my hand at embroidery. Well, congratulations, Stacy. Decided my first project should be something for me to hang on my sewing room wall. It's called Oh So Delightful by Kimberbell. I had some missteps. Yellow inner border was supposed to be an embroidered tape measure. Yet I also added a few things to make it my own. It was really fun to complete this wall hanging. And yes, it's very worthy of Finish It Friday. I love all of the detail on this. You would never know this was your first project with an embroidery machine. It's gorgeous what you've done. That's going to be great in your sewing room for many, many years to come. Great job, Stacy. Christine has a couple of finishes here. She says the log cabin is 65 by 65 Moda fabrics. The majority is called Clover Blossoms. and had to improvise with Kansas troubles. Yes, that's a great big log cabin design there. Very good. I love the color combinations you picked. The table runner is small. Thought I would try this design. I've seen popping up everywhere. The HSTs are 2.5 inches. Next time I will go bigger. Very cute fall table runner. Very nice. That'll look very good on your fall table. Anja. She says this is one she started a while ago when Darlene Michaud did her last sew along. Adorable animals. I do remember that. She was taking these little animal motifs and cutting them out and putting strips around them. And she made a pattern for everyone to follow. She said, here I found some adorable flowers and I had lots of matching fabric in my stash. Another coworker stopped working a month ago. She is a colorful person who likes nature, so this one is for her. Yeah, lots to look at on there. Very, very interesting. I could spend a long time looking at all of those blocks. And then the back there is pieced together. Very nice use of extra fabrics. Great job, Anja. Cynthia Cook made a panel quilt. This is very cool. It's a unicorn. I had to think for a second. Kind of in a mystical sort of background, I guess. Kind of woodsy. I love the borders on your panels. I see something there that I'm going to be trying soon too. So thanks for sending this. It gives me a little more confirmation on how to do the panel idea coming up. Not this week, but in the future. Very good job. Marjorie. She says, I'm working on getting quilt tops quilted and bound. Good for you. These are some from the past year. The scrappy quilt here is made from 2-inch, 1.5 finished blocks. I think that was one of Pat Sloan's Block Wednesdays, wasn't it? Ooh, I like the second one. It's kind of a scrappy Irish chain. Love the quilting on that too. Very cute. Then you have a pumpkin one with maple leaves. Very pretty. And then down below you have my vintage mystery quilt along from last year. Very good. You did yours in mauves and forest, or well, some kind of olive greens, creams. Very nice. Wow, you've been busy. Good job, Marjorie. Dee Dee. She is showing her composition book cover that she made. And she's put some quilting lines on the top and the bottom. She's used a Seattle Seahawks themed fabric. And she added a little pocket for a pen. Great idea. And if I'm not mistaken, this is for her husband. I finished hubby's book cover. Color choice, inside, and pin pocket. Not the best, but used what I had. Oh, it's great. Don't worry about it. It looks perfect. He'll love it. I'm sure he's already using it. Okay, now Yvette. She had several she wanted to send. She's got 1, 2, 3 here. I'll try to get these in order. These are all just tops. Her Jazz 2 baby lock machines at the hospital, so she's not quilted them yet. The first one is from Nana's Journey on YouTube. The fabric is Morning Blossom by Northcott. And she loved this when she first saw it, but missed getting the yardage, but she did get a quilt kit. And no, she missed the quilt kit. The local quilt shop had just enough fabric for her to assemble this. She smiled the whole time she was making it. She just really loved it. And then the second one, well, let me look at this. Stars and feature fabric on those other squares. I love that fabric too. That's that kind of a chrysanthemum type of flower on there. Love that border. And then the second one is a top that she made for her soon-to-be 2-year-old grandson. Monster truck from Riley Blake. It was fun and quick to make. See if I can get that open. Cool. Oh my goodness, he's going to have a fit over that. Look at that truck and those giant wheels. Super cute. The third one is one she was making for her mother from Many Wonderful Curves book Sea Glass pattern. This was her first curved sewing pattern with Dresden. However, while I was making it, my sister-in-law's mom had a heart attack and has been hospitalized since. I thought about her the whole time I was making it and knew that she needed it to keep her warm in the hospital. She received it today and loved it. This was last Wednesday. I was in a hurry to get it mailed out to Texas that I actually forgot to take a picture of it before it left, so here it is at the hospital. Well, nothing better than watching someone enjoy the quilt that you sent. That's very pretty. Did you just use scraps for that? Let's see what she said. Does it say? It looks like you used a variety of florals. Very, very pretty. Love that. And then the last one, she says, this one is for my 15-year-old grandson. It's a version of the Jelly Roll race, but using fat quarters instead. I do not remember the fabric line, but I'm sure that someone out there recognizes it. So, yes, it does look like a Jelly Roll quilt, but she used fat quarters. Just kind of angled those off, and you get the same effect, just shorter pieces. I love it. And masculine, so very good choices. I don't recognize the fabric at all, but it's a very good choice for a male. So Yvette has been super busy. She's been working on her quilt tops, whittling down. So I hope you guys are too, finding some things in your stashes that you need to finish up and using fabric from your stash instead of buying new fabric. That's what I'm trying to do. It's always tempting to find something just a little better for a sashing or border or whatever, or run out and buy more bird fabric. But not going to do that. Not going to do that during Stashtember. So maybe if we've saved up enough money and we're worthy, then we'll go out in October and buy a few things. Alright, so that's what I have for you this week. So I hope you have a busy weekend. Sew a little bit if you can. And I will see you back here on Monday Quilt Chat. Have a great one. Bye.